Greetings and welcome to this sneak peek into ICWA's panel discussion on multipolarity in the 21st century, perspectives of major stakeholders. I'm Avni Sablok, Research Associate and Social Media Coordinator at the Council, and it is my pleasure to welcome and interact with the chair of the panel discussion, Ambassador Asoke Mukerji. He's a distinguished fellow of Vivekananda International Foundation and a former permanent representative of India to the United Nations. Welcome to the Council, sir. So, do you think that the United Nations needs to be transformed for a multipolar world?
Well, I think that the United Nations needs to be reformed for a multipolar world, and the pathway to that has been laid down very clearly by our Prime Minister. So I hope that in the 80th anniversary of the United Nations, we will all agree to reform the United Nations.
Thank you for your perspective, sir. Thank you. We have with us Dr. Chintamani Mahapatra, founder and honorary chairperson of Kalinga Institute of Indo-Pacific Studies. Welcome to the Council, sir. Do you support a dialogue between the US and the new poles or center of a multipolar order?
In international relations, dialogue is an extremely important component for maintaining cooperation, peace, and stability. The real problem begins when there is no dialogue, no discussion at all, and every country thinks about its own interest, and there may be conflict also. So dialogue is welcome. The reason I'm supporting this currently is because the Trump administration is coming very harsh upon all the important countries around the world.
Right.
It is literally waging a war against the rest of the world. So it is important that major poles in the multipolar order also hold dialogue with Trump, at least to convince him that to maintain peace and stability, which will benefit the world and the United States, there should be a dialogue rather than a unilateral declaration of tariff or unilateral declaration of different kind of policies.
Thank you for your insights, sir. Thank you. We have with us Professor Srikanth Kondapalli, Chinese Studies, Center for East Asia Studies, JNU, New Delhi. Welcome to the Council, sir.
Thank you.
So, do you think that do civilizational aspects serve as a methodological basis for analyzing and constructing a multipolar system?
Indeed, I think when we look at China, which is a 5,000-year-old civilization, effectively, of course, junior to the Indus Valley civilization by nearly about 1,000 years, but they still have a lot of mass. And even though Communist Party of China was established only in 1921 and came to power in 1949, there is still the Chinese civilizational background and the weight of that civilization. It does matter because today Chinese have floated a global civilizational initiative, and they conducted about 3 major conferences by inviting major civilizational entities like Egypt, like Peru, like Babylonian inheritors in Italy, or India. The Vice President of India was invited, but of course he did not go for this meeting. Nevertheless, I think China is trying to create a multipolar tendency by the civilizational debate, by suggesting that these have long-standing, centuries-old customs, traditions, and these have really influenced the people. So it is trying to say that these are not short-term, these are of long-term significance. And in terms of the diversification of the cultures, China has a big role to play, and in the multipolarity debate, they have also mentioned about civilizations. And hence, we can say that there is a lot of depth to it, and it can definitely be considered to be a variable in the methodology of multipolarity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insightful perspective. Thank you. We have with us Professor Ummu Bava, Chairperson and Jean Monnet Chair, Center for European Studies, JNU, New Delhi. Welcome to the Council, ma'am. Ma'am, do you see the emergence of a multipolar Europe along with a parallel rise of a multipolar world?
So the Europe, when we talk of European Union, by design, it is full of 27 states, which are equally powerful, with varying capacities and capabilities of power. So you could really call the European Union, to that extent, an economic giant, and it is a pole in international politics. Is the world truly turning multipolar? That depends on what we are talking about. Economically, the world is multipolar. Militarily, the world, has a concentration of few more actors which are powerful. And so there is military multipolarity as well. And if you're looking at it from a perspective of norms and regulations, then the European Union definitely is a normative multipolar actor, because anybody who engages in trades with Europe has to, by force, adopt or at least conform to EU regulations. So clearly we see that, within a changing power structure of international politics, you are going to have different actors, including the European Union, display their capability and abilities in different arenas, not in the uniform way. The EU far more in trade and regulations, less in military. If you look at the US and China and Russia, then far more, you will see military as well as trade, in which they are visible.
Thank you for your insightful perspective, ma'am. Thank you. We have with us Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, Senior Research Fellow at the Indian Council of World Affairs. His research area focuses on China and issues related to multilateralism. So, what is the link between multipolarity and multilateralism? Please explain.
Thank you for your question. I think the linkages between multipolarity and multilateralism is extremely important to understand. We all are aware that a school of thought of international relation suggests that multipolar world could be less stable than its alternatives such as unipolar or bipolar. Here I would argue that a stronger multilateral mechanisms can better and effectively manage the instability if it emerges from multipolarity. Moreover, I think it's important to underscore that India's call for reform multilateralism, which seeks to make institutions of global governance, including United Nations and United Nations Security Council, reflect today's realities. Therefore, I believe that reform multilateralism will reinforce multipolarity, and it is the right way forward in building and strengthening a multipolar world order. Thank you.
Thank you for your perspective, sir. Thank you for joining us. Do visit our YouTube channel to know more about the panel discussion.